Hello, welcome back to another episode of Tractors and Such. As we got the transmission painted and everything, we are now working on the brakes because, well, if I can find where we laid the old brake material, or he's got it. Here's the old brake material. And you cannot really find a new band. We're just going to reuse this band, the metal parts. But yeah, this is this is where the little the drum thing rides at right here, and it wore out. And then we got, well, I got this off of McMaster, which is a brake lining material. This is an inch. It's an inch wide. Or we ordered it in 4 foot long because I got a bunch of Searses, and it's 3/16 thick. But depending on what kind of Sears you got, the diameter of this could be different. And we're not going to rivet this back on, because we don't have a brake riveter tool, and we're just going to use some JB Weld. It's epoxy, and it's got over 3,000 strength, and we're just going to use it because that's what we've got. And so we're getting ready to cut that to size, and then I'll get this lined up in here. Okay, so what we've done is we've got this brake line material cut out, and it ain't epoxied or nothing. It's mocked up for now, just to get a baseline of how we're going to clamp it whenever it's time to put the epoxy on. He's just marking it, so whenever we put the epoxy on, we'll know where to put it at. And so we're getting ready to put the epoxy on, and then we're going to let this thing set for a couple days, or it necessarily don't have to be a couple days, but at least overnight. But it'll be at least a few days before I get to this. But while we're here, let's go ahead and put the epoxy on.
Alright, we took the clamps back off of it after we got it to sort of contoured to the brake band, and I marked it on each end where I wanted to stop at, and I'm getting ready to mix the epoxy. You mix it in equal. You've got the epoxy, which is the black, and then you've got the hardener, which is yellow. And for this application, this is going to take about 2 inches of epoxy.
And what he means by condor is that while we were getting the epoxy and get a cardboard and little piece of nail to stir the epoxy, we were stirring it, or not stirring it, but we let the brake band set and the clamps to when we was marking up, and we were letting it set there for a few minutes, and letting it get in its shape so it'd be easier whenever you add the epoxy.
Yeah, this is a time-sensitive application, so you start mixing it equally together. You don't want no black spots in it. You don't want any white spots in it. You want it to be a consistency of gray. All right, that's ready to go. Going to take the band out of the and I'm going to leave it still contour the way it was. So I start and I'm using a nail with a flat end on it to apply the epoxy to my brake band. Just put it, you want it uniform, you don't want it really thick. You just want it uniform thickness all the way around on the brake band.
And remember, you're on a time-based manner, so you need to go as quick as you can. Because that epoxy, it'll set in minutes. Well, I had to mix more.
I'm just going back over and filling out any light spots that I've got. I want to make it uniform so it doesn't slip. We're not going to put any rivets in it, so that's important that we have a uniform covering of this all the way down. All right, now it's going in the
band.
This is where it's critical to have your marks in there where you could see them when you mash this into.
You swab that in a bit.
Now if you get any oozing out around the edge, just move it around. Yeah. Unloosen the vise. Seven sixteenths, right?
It's a half.
Yeah.
Yep.
It might look funny on the video, but all we're doing is making sure that we've got a good contact with the brake pad material and the brake band.
They're clean.
And one of the things that you can look for to see if everything is working the way it's supposed to be. See, like this rivet hole right here on this side, if you can see it, see that rivet hole? See, the epoxy's coming out through the rivet hole. That means I've got a good pressure on it, I've got a good coverage, and it's working. So all we got to do now is let it set and dry. There's another one you can see in here. It's got epoxy coming out of it too. There that one is.
And the other one's in the clamp.
Yeah, there was one on the clamp. But this one right here, I'll move it. See, it's come through on the hole. So that tells me that I've got good pressure, I've got good coverage. All now is just wait
A day or so.
till it dries.
Okay, so it's been a few days later, and well, we've got the brake band. It's all cured and everything, and it works too. It's all adhered in there. We already mounted the transmission. It's just these two carriage bolts and a bolt down and two nuts. And yeah. So that'll be the end of this part of the brake. And yeah. Thank you for watching this video of tractors and such. Please consider to like and subscribe. And now we'll go with Paul with devotion.
Our devotion today is Genesis chapter 7, beginning at verse 11. The Word of God said, "In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, and the 17th day of the month, the same day were all the fountains of the great deep broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened. And the rain was upon the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. In the self-same day entered Noah, and Seth, and Ham, and Japheth, the sons of Noah, and Noah's wife, and 3 wives of his sons with them into the ark. They and every beast after its kind, and all the cattle after their kind, and every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth after his kind, every fowl after his kind, and every bird of every sort. And they went into Noah into the ark, and 2 by 2 of all flesh. Therein is the breath of life. And they that went in male and female of all flesh. And God had commanded him, and the Lord shut him in. And the flood was 40 days upon the earth, and the waters increased and bare up the ark, and it lifted up above the earth. And the waters prevailed, and were increased greatly upon the earth, and the ark went upon the face of the waters. And the waters prevailed exceedingly upon the earth, and all the hills, high hills, that were under the whole heavens were covered. 15 cubits upward did the waters prevail, and the mountains were covered. And all flesh died that moved upon the earth, both of the fowls and of the cattle and of the beasts, and every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, every man. All of those nostrils was the breath of life of that was in the dry land died. And every living substance was destroyed, which was upon the face of the ground, both man, cattle, and creeping things, and the fowl of the heavens. And they were destroyed from the earth, and Noah only remained alive, and they that were with him in the ark. And the waters prevailed upon the earth 150 days. Thank you for watching Kate's video today. See you on the next posting.